have a conversation with some of the volunteers who are here at STEMnet. And today we'll be talking to Prathul. And welcome, Prathul.
Thank you.
If you want to know more about Prathul, there is a website, Backpacking with Pratt. Backpack with Pratt, which you can read about his other adventures. So we will start with that. So the last 10 years, you've been having a little adventure of your own. So what was the point of it? Like, what is the goal of it? What were you looking for?
So before I started my journey 10 years back, it was much more of I was a fashion designer back in New York, and the whole system, how it works and how we define success, I was not satisfied with that. And that's one question which was always there in my mind at the time was how much is enough. And I felt like nobody come and tell you that how much is enough, not your parents, not society, not your friends. And I wanted to understand like how much is enough and how you define success. It cannot be defined in only one parameter, like how much money you have and what position you hold in the society and everything. So that's why I took a decision of okay, I need to understand that, and that's how I started my journey. And yeah, it's a beautiful learning experience for me till now. I've met some amazing people, I met some amazing communities around the world, and I got to learn a lot. And that was my whole understanding. Like I wanted to learn, I wanted to explore. I never traveled just to check out the places or something. It was much more of like what I can learn from there, the ideas and everything. And it was beautiful, the kind of love I got, because I made it a point like I will not stay in hotels and guest house, and I will knock on random people's houses and let's see like what I can do for them, and if they can understand. And it took me to some amazing experiences to get to know like world is beautiful. If you have something over here which you feel right, and then there's nothing to be scared of. Because how the media portrays, it's so I wanted to understand from my own eyes, from my own experience, and I loved it. And yeah, that's how the whole journey is till now. And
So it has taken you to pretty much every continent in the world, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm 10 years, yeah.
Antarctica also.
Antarctica also.
Yeah. So what brought you to Oregon?
So now because it's my, so I think 4 or 5 years back, then I started, like I had this thing in my mind, like, when I will complete my 10 years of my journey, then I thought like when I will be 35 now, I'm 34, I will be 34 now. So I had this thing in my mind, like, by the time I will turn 35, I would like to have a base where all the learnings which I learned in my journey till now, I want to start implying in my own lifestyle, in my own life, at the same time sharing with other people. I do certain events and festivals around, but there's much more. There's so many ideas which I've learned, and there's so many things which I want to practice in my life. And for that, I need a base. And the kind of person I have become because of all this journey, the things which have become clear to me, like, okay, I would love to be in some community where I can, enlarge my learning experience, at the same time I can share. And right now I'm doing my research, and it's proper research, but for my own understanding, for my own learning, like which community I can be a part of, and what I can give to the community and what I can learn from them. So that's why I follow.
All right. Yeah. And what brought you to STEMland? I mean, your experiences are quite vast. Actually, let's talk about some of the things in that 10-year journey that you have done. That I remember you telling me you plucked bananas in Australia. Okay. You have conducted an IPL after party.
Yeah.
And like, just to give a sense, what are the things you've done?
So in the starting when I left, that's like one thing led to another thing, but at the same time, because of this idea in the mind, like I will stay in local, like in the random people houses. So that's how this thing started. Like I ended up driving auto in Bihar for 3 months because I was very curious about how this auto people, like tuk-tuk people, how they live and what they do and all. and that led me to work with washerman community in Mahalakshmi, Dhobi Ghat in Mumbai. I used to live in the sewage pipe over there, and it was beautiful, the whole community, how I learned a lot from them. And somehow, because of all these learnings, the first uh, understanding with the first really thing which hit me was when you have more, you give less, and when you have less, you give more. And it was such a beautiful experience when I was with these guys. Later on, like I got an opportunity to do some farming in Australia. I work in elephant sanctuaries in Cambodia. As a I work as a bamboo teacher. Like I first learned how to make bamboo houses and all. And then I work as a bamboo teacher in Argentina, and then I made some igloo houses back in Norway. I worked as a guide in Turkey. I worked in different schools, not what you say, systematic school and all, but more into homeschooling and alternative school ideas and all. Basically, I work with all the schools in Central America, and so I learned yoga. Whatever skills I can learn from different places.
Trekking.
Yeah.
To Balaji about trekking.
Yeah, I'm much more of a mountain person as compared to beach person. So I was always into hiking. So I did all my mountaineering courses, which are required to climb to do summits in the Himalayas and all. So I did some of my courses back in France, some in Nepal, and then I did Annapurna summit. All these things and I was always much more inclined towards the communities, towards the small villages, towns around the world. And 5.5 years back, people started asking me you should share your experience because what you are doing and how you are living your life. Because I live with just my bag, whatever I have. When I sold off everything, what I can keep in that bag, I had this thing in my mind only I will keep that much. And so that's how it started.
Hence the name Backpack.
Hence the name Backpack. Yeah. That's why this website, and then people ask me why don't you share all these things? So I started this website, and in that website one line was very clear that if you have something new for me to learn, and if it's interesting enough for me, then I will come and work for you for free. And that's how people from everywhere they started okay, if you want to come and learn from us, and if you can learn something from you, please come and join us. And it was a beautiful experience, and that's how.
So now, why STEMLab? How did you hear about STEMLab?
So when I was roaming around in Oracle, because I wanted to be over here and I wanted to work with the local community at the same time, because I was getting a lot of opportunity to work with Orwellian kids and all, working with the youth and youth link and all those things. But I was more inclined towards how Oracle is contributing towards the bioregion area at the same time. What are we doing? If the community is growing, if we are doing so many experiments in Oracle, how it is affecting the bioregion area and the kids of that area and all. That's what I was very inclined to. And when I asked around, many people put me in your direction. Go to Sanjeev and you will get much more idea, and I think you guys will come up with something. And that's how I landed in your office, and you kidnapped me. It was really in the starting when I met you, and the kind of how you are clear about what you want and what you are looking for, and you gave me that freedom. Okay, work because before joining Stanford, I was not it was not okay, I will work with English team or anything like that and all. I just wanted to work with the kids. I want to work with the bioregion kids and see what I can do, how much I can share. And when you gave me the opportunity to work with them, help them with the English and also with your knowledge, and that's how I ended up in Stanlab.
Yeah. So it was a new area for us too. We have been working by and large in STEM, and you had joined pretty much the group right at the beginning. I think it might have been maybe a few weeks that they had sort of got together. So it was our first team to look at language and how we can do something different with English. So, and I guess you also work with geography and children on geography. So why don't you talk a little about that experience, right? What is it that you were doing, the team was doing, what is it that you were doing?
So when the first of all the team which I worked with it was also from the bioregion area, so it was wonderful to work with them because from them I got an insight how things work over here, how what kind of conditions they come from, the kids of the school, and what can we do to firstly make them confident about English, and the more emphasis in the starting. So we did a pre-assessment first to know like on what level we are with the student, like where are they right now, and then we divided them into like in different levels and all, and we started working on their reading perspective first, and with that perspective, at the same time how there was this content team where we were developing the content according to the levels and all. It was such a beautiful experience because it was not only about the textbooks and all. So we were working according to what the kids will be interested. So that the language, the main understanding which I got in starting itself, we are not focusing English as a subject. It's much more to do to understand that, okay, if you will learn this language, it will be easier for you to communicate with this world, to learn more, because you are in this area. You can learn so much from Audible at the same time, and like from the people all over the world and all. You can learn so much. So take it as a communication. Take it as a not as a subject, but much more to enhance your communication skills in that way. And the team worked hard on that. We developed the content for them, and we did the last 3 months. We worked on the reading skills mainly. And 2 weeks back only, a week back only, we did the post assessment, and we saw like we were able to see how much they have progressed, and like how much they are, and I can really feel like now, like what I was over here in October, and now in February, like how all these kids, they are coming to me, they're much more open, they want to talk to me in English. In the starting they were very shy, they were like, oh, who is this person and everything and all. But now they're really coming up to me, even the small kids, like 6 years, 7 years old kids, they will come to me and, Prathul Anna, how are you today, or how are you feeling and all. In the starting, I remember like it was very touching for me, because in the starting, I think they were in their first class or second class, these kids. So however, whatever English they know, so they will just come, because they, like, the whole class will come in a queue, so like one by one they will come. What's your name? What's your name? They will, because they all know only this much, right? So in the starting they will just come and they will just ask me that thing. And then I figured like after 3-4 days, I think the teacher taught them next question. So then they come to me, what's your mother name? So it was such a beautiful, they're trying, like that beautiful experience to know like, okay, everyone is curious, like all these kids are very curious. If you give them that medium, that openness, so they want to know, and they know, because I am not very familiar with Tamil language. They know other way they can talk to me and all. So yeah, that's all things which we did with them, and now I see like how much love we have for each other, how much we can learn from each other, and they also understand that. So now, because I work with 5th class mainly, and I work with 8th and 5th to be frank, and with 8th class I also work with my own experience about the world, about how this world, about the geography, but in my own way. And I'm really so amazed with the kids over there in 8th class, how much they want to know, how much they are curious and all. And they opened up really, like from October till now. It's a beautiful, and like now I feel like, okay, I am curious, like in the morning when I get up, like you asked me to come at 10:30, I am over there 9 o'clock sometimes. Like, I want to talk to these kids and I want to be over there and all. So yeah, that's what happened.
So in geography, what are the kind of experiences that you shared, or what did the children ask you? I think that's the...
Yeah, about like, okay, I used to share some of the pictures and videos which I took when I was roaming around and all. So they will ask me about their culture, about how you like, what kind of kids over there, what kind of studies they do over there. Then if they want to travel over there, what skill sets they will need. And at the same time, they were very curious about their traditions and culture in different countries. And because I have this 12 workshops which I do with the young kids. So they were very curious about to know if all this different countries around the world, how they think, because from the media when they see, they always feel like, okay man, there's always something wrong going on around the world, like there's nothing good which is coming out. My whole idea was to give them, no, the world is also beautiful and there's other different things. So instead of focusing on what's going wrong,
Right.
let's also just start focusing on like, oh, what's
What
beautiful
else
things
were
are happening.
different places?
So yeah, in that way they were very curious.
About different communities,
Different communities, different how the people live over there, what kind of culture they have, and all. And it's and I give them a few assignments. Like, okay, if you, like, firstly I told them, okay, I divided them in different continents and different countries. Okay, you go and you research about that country and all, and the other kids, they will ask you questions.
Okay.
So in that way they were also enhancing their communication skills, English, that how they present themselves and all. And the other kids, I told them, like, you have the kids who will, you need to ask questions and all. Sometimes the questions were also so beautiful, like even for me also, like, wow, like, I never thought of that. Like, you can ask, okay, this kind of questions and all. So it was really nice to see them, like, doing the presentations and everything and all, and bringing the team together and like they're working hard on them and everything. And yeah, it was a beautiful experience.
And with the, I mean, I guess you were using comprehensible input with stories for English, right? So did you pick up specific kind of stories that were interesting for you, that you could connect, or like how did you work on the content?
So working on the content was mainly to, firstly, when we did the pre-assessment, so we got to know, okay, where they stand. So we got to, the first thing which we understand is, okay, if you will give them textbooks and all, they will not be able to connect that much. So the kind of things which they can connect to, let's bring that first, so that their interest in English will start coming. So it was much more based on the storybooks, like for the smaller kids, for the younger kids, it was much more about the stories of the.
That I understand. We even started with rhymes with some of the very young children.
So that's
with your grade, with the 5th grade.
With the 5th grade. So firstly, when we were there, so we started with stories. And we at the same time we were seeing, like, okay, how much interest they have in the stories of the jungles and all. And then so then I figured, okay, they are also very curious about different countries, because as soon as they see me, they want to know, like, okay, so we started also putting some different countries ideas and all. In the end, also we put some personalities, personalities which they want to know. So I gave them assignments, okay, if you develop your own country, what kind of country it will be? Okay, if you make your own school, what kind of school it will be? So you have to come up with different points, okay, role plays in that. Then we also did some role plays, yeah, it was very, it was much more, I think, effective as a role play, because as soon as you bring theatre, and they have to do some, okay, I'm the king, she's the queen, they are my, like, other members of the court and everything. So they will be much more, like, active, and they want to talk to each other. So we got some role plays in that. We also got some audios in the end, so that when they hear, the pronunciations and everything can also be much more clear in that way. And instead of most of the storybooks, they have those kind of names which they cannot connect to. So we change the names to their bioreason, and also they can be much more connected. They can feel, oh yeah, okay, so like it's something which it happens to us also. So this is how we develop the content, and yeah.
So you already mentioned one of the things that touched you was how much children wanted to use whatever little that they had learned. Is there anything else that touched you in your class or with interacting with children in general?
So most of these kids, what I have realized is they come from a like not very good background. In the way, because in the family backgrounds, most of the kids have very disturbed background and all. So when I was working with 8th class mainly, because they are the senior most in the school, and when I remember, in fact it happened 4 days back, I asked them, okay, what do you want to be in your life? Not in terms of your career, but what do you like the most? Okay, because it will change, like it's just 8th class right now. I just wanted to know so that they can start talking about it and all. So one of the girls, she said, I want to be a police officer. And I asked her, why do you want to be a police officer? She said, when my father come back to my house and she like he sometimes he gets drunk and he start beating my mother and then he start beating me and it's not a good situation and I've seen that also with my other friends in my locality and that's why I want to become police officer so that it's not because I want to go and like put them in the jail so that I can go and tell them like okay what you are doing is not good and you really need to change that because by this you're pushing your family away. You're not doing any good in that. I was so touched, like being so young and coming from that kind of background, but still she had hopes. She had hope like, okay, things will change. And it was such a beautiful, no, not beautiful at the same time, such touching experience for me. Like all these kids who come from this kind of background, but still they have hope and they want to do something which can change this world, and it really touched me. Yeah. And after that in the class, when I asked who else have the similar kind of like, so they were all in the tears, and then also they raised their hand like yeah, some like something or the other, it happens to us, and they all like in the end it was such a nice like after the class they all came together and they hugged each other as a group hug, and I put that girl in between, and all of them they come together and they gave a group hug, and it was beautiful. But really, thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you. So what is your largest learning being part of STEM now? What do you take with you?
Largest learning from STEMland. I think the kind of environment you have given us over there, the kind of freedom to work with the students and the whole team, I think everyone understands this thing, like we are doing it not only for, we are not doing them to teach them something, we are doing it to share the goodness, first of all, and we are there for them. The one understanding which because all of the members of Stamina, they are very young. They all are in their 20s or maximum in their like in early 30s. Yeah. Oh, no one. Okay. I'm the only one. Okay. But it was such a like all the team members like they when I see them like when they work together and like they have that kind of energy and everything, and when they work with the kids mainly, it's such a like they work on the computers and all like when they're very serious, but when they work with the kids, wow, like I see that energy, I see that they want to give so much to the kids, and they are totally like working like a family with the kids, and it's such a beautiful experience which I'm taking back. Like if you make your workplace as a family, it doesn't feel like work then, and I felt like that.
So how about Auroville as a whole? And you also engaged with Auroville in different ways. And so what are your thoughts of what you learned as being part of Auroville as a whole?
Oh, it's to understand Auroville, I think it will take years and years and all. But I did an intensive research. I'm part of many activities over here. So Auroville, what I have understand, it's a beautiful place to experiment. People say this is a community, but like as mother says, it's a experimental township, and a place where youth never never ages. And I felt like that. I have like everyone who is over here, even the person who is in their 80s, even somebody who is in their very early childhood or whatever, but everyone is doing something. Is trying to get engaged, is trying some experiments, getting involved in some activities and all. And that's what the kind of person I am. I'm always very curious, I always want to learn, and I always want to share. So it's such a beautiful place for me. It's like an ocean of like-minded people where you can come and you can experiment, and if you have a right idea and all, there will be people who will support you. There will always be someone to support you, and you will get that kind of support from the community in that way. So it's a cluster of community for me. Different communities living together, but the main, what do you say, the main agenda, the main way where we are going ahead is for the human unity, which I feel, and such a beautiful place where people from all over the world, they come together and they're trying their level best to, and it's not like everything is going right. There are mistakes, there are things which are going wrong, but at the same time, such a beautiful, at least people are working together to make it a better place to live. And it's such a great example. For me, I don't understand why there are not small oracles everywhere around the world. It feels such a beautiful thing. This question is in my mind, why can't we have the small oracles all over the world? And I think it's because I'm doing a research in different communities, and now this is my 5th month over here. People are asking me, many people are telling me, I think you're gonna come back over here.
I was going to say that, did you notice that you said we at one point? That we are going?
Yeah.
So, we can close with that. So, when are you coming back?
I have given myself some deadline, my birthday of when I will turn 35. I've given myself a deadline. Before that, I will make up my mind. Now, if you ask me, I feel Auroville as a school for me. It's really a school for me to learn. So I was just thinking, to in the morning today itself, why don't I see, okay, I'm going back to school. Then instead of thinking about community and let's see this as a school, because there's so many things which I can learn over here. There's still so many things which I can learn over here and all. And if I will come back over here, I will come back with this side, with that mindset. It's a school, I will come and learn much more. And I think I will, it's a place, I don't think so I'm over with this place. I need to be back over here. Yeah, being with you guys, it's beautiful.
Any suggestions, what is it called? Advice for people who will want to volunteer for STEM Lab?
Any advice to, okay.
Don't talk to Sanjeev about research.
I was not part of the research team that much. I was much more part of the English content team and working with the kids mainly.
No, I stopped you in the middle. Keep going.
Yeah. But for me, it was much more. I want to give this. What my suggestion is: come with an open mind, come with an open heart, because you will learn a lot over here at the same time with Sanjeev and with the whole team, and you will get that kind of freedom if you really want to work with the kids. If you have ideas, like Sanjeev was always very open with all the ideas and all, and it's very easy to come to him, and people have this perception he's very serious things and all. But for me, if you will ask me, and I always felt if you have a good idea and all, he's very open to that, and yeah, I really feel if you have some ideas, and if you are working with the education system, and if you want to work with the research team to make things better in different education system around and all, so I think Stamland is a place where you can come. I don't know about the technical part, but with my experience, I really feel okay, if you have ideas, if you want to implement that and all, Stamland is the place to come and experiment. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.